Care.
I call the Honourable Damien O'Connor.
Thank you, Mr Chairman. Department of Labour is responsible for workplace safety in New Zealand. And I could have a speech of my own, Mr Chairman, but actually all I need to do is read from a very sad and very long transcripts from the Royal Commission of the Pike River Inquiry in Greymouth. And I will quote from them, Mr Speaker, because some of the statements are quite profound and they do affect the Department of Labour, what it should, what it could, and what it's not doing, Mr Chairman. Mr Speaker, the Head of Workplace Health and Safety Policy Manager, Mr James Murphy, admitted in two statements that insufficient funding is going from this mean government, the same government that gave away $14 billion in tax cuts, into a department that is responsible for workplace health and safety, not only in mining, but across every industry. Mr Speaker, Mr Murphy admitted that inspectors, Mr Speaker, were coming up short for lack of resources and lack of training, Mr Speaker. He also told the hearing that mines inspectors' inspections would require resources to be taken from another area of the Department of Labour if they were going to up their ante. Well, Mr Speaker, it is very, very sad. As I say, quoting from page 641 of the transcript notes from one of the inspectors, he says, quote, "There are effectively a lack of audits of mines." Another one said there is no structured professional development in place, page 641. Mr Speaker, 645, no plan for training of inspectors. No unannounced mine visits, Mr Speaker, presumably because of a lack of resources. There are 29 dead men still in a mine. There's no recovery operation because the government refuses to provide funding for that recovery. There's a seal in the mine now, and families are waiting for action when the government came down, made a song and dance, promised everything to everyone, and has now walked away from the Pike River mine, Mr Chairman. They have. No, that's not rubbish. There are no resources, there has been no commitment from the National Party government, no commitment to provide the funds to continue with the recovery of those bodies. And I say that the front... Oh, well, that minister says that. Well, that minister, I wouldn't like to get into to some of the H words that I could apply to him. Mr Speaker, can I say, when he confront with the right money, not for his mates and tax cuts, but put it into the Department of Labour to run a proper mines inspectorate, then I'll judge your true commitment to humanity. That's right, Minister. Put the money where your mouth is. Mr Chairman, I appreciate that. Mr Speaker, there has been from a person in New Zealand providing advice to the Chinese mining industry. And he is horrified that the Department of Labour, this under-resourced department, has been telling its dwindling bunch of mines inspectors, in fact there's only one now, that they should not, quote, not give any advice to mining companies in case they incurred legal liability for the department as a result. What sort of under-resourced, stingy mines inspector did the Department of Labour support? Well, I think that the next two phases of the Royal Commission will expose that even further, Mr Chairman. But I have to say that it is a sad state when in this first world country our mines inspectorate is inferior, is in fact has no legal obligation, in fact is advised by senior people in the department not to go out and help raise the level of safety in mines, Mr Speaker. To quote him, he says, nowhere else in the developed world would the Mines Inspectorate give such nonsensical advice to it? Mr. Chairman.
I call the Honourable Damien O'Connor.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Can I say that while I don't expect the Minister and the Chair to probably answer these things, it is imperative that she passes on to her Minister that the Inspectorate, as at the moment, is totally inadequately resourced and unskilled to carry out the role of the inspection of mines and the upholding of safety in underground mines in New Zealand as of this day. And the Minister refuses to resource the Inspectorate, to increase the number of inspectors, or to do anything about safety standards in underground coal mining. It is bordering on immoral that the Minister and the Department will sit on its hands until the end of the Royal Commission. Mr. Chairman, I accepted the need for us to give the Commission clear space, and it has all the information before it now, Mr. Chairman. But it would be immoral of me to sit on my hands, having heard the information and the evidence at the first round of the Royal Commission, and not push the government to increase, upgrade and properly resource the Mines Inspectorate in this country. So I asked the Minister, because she's a very reasonable person, why would she think, not needing any knowledge of mining, why would she think that the current Minister should refuse to do something that is so glaringly obvious? Mr. Chairman, the senior policy person from the Department of Labour admitted that the department, and the ministers over there know this, did take a more hands-off approach and is now thinking that actually we were too hands-off, but admits in the same submission that if any resources are to be put into the Mines Inspectorate, upgraded, then they have to be taken from somewhere else in the Department of Labour. Well, this is the estimates. So where's the money? Where's the resources to both uphold standards across other industries and boost the Mines Inspectorate, where there is a desperate need as of today, because tomorrow men will go underground and there are incidents happening, and there's a late report done on one of the major underground mines that is full of holes that indicates clearly a lot of work still needs to be done, a lot of guidance needs to occur from experts in the Mines Inspectorate. This is about today, Minister. This is about estimates moving forward, and what is your government, what is that Minister's government going to do to try and prevent deaths in underground mining tomorrow? What will you do today to prevent the accidents of tomorrow? Because the reports, the information, the submissions and the hearings at the Royal Commission all point to inadequacies, a totally under-resourced Mines Inspectorate, and people in the job who don't have the skills to know whether they're Arthur or Martha when it comes to some of the gaseous, high-risk underground mines. So that Cabinet Minister and his friend there should get off their butts too and encourage their colleague, the Minister of Labour, whose representative is in the chair today, to explain why she will not properly resource the Mines Inspectorate moving forward as of tomorrow. And if the ministers want any reason to support that, just go and read the transcripts. Just go and read the gaping holes in a department that not only fails to uphold the wages and conditions of a huge number of New Zealanders, allows slavery on foreign fishing boats in our waters, and allows underground miners to work in an unsafe environment because they refuse to properly resource a Mines Inspectorate or uphold the standards that people warned of right back in 1994. I can quote, Mr. Chairman, because it is about estimates moving forward and how much resource the department has. And I say, Mr Chairman, that inadequate resources have been given to the Department of Labour and it cannot uphold mines' safety.
I call the honourable member Kelvin